Before I came to Urban Ventures, my life was in a situation that was kind of a mess, and it seemed that I was the only one that admired it. I began to go to jail at least once a year, sometimes 2 to 3 times a year. I was looking for a support group. I was looking for any kind of help that I could possibly find that would help me with my daughter on her behalf and trying to get a better deal of custody for her. I have voluntarily sought out other programs. I would go there and I would probably end up at the liquor store that same evening. And I kept making calls, and somebody mentioned a place called Urban Ventures. It was the first time I came here. There was Jack Strouder, this big, tall black man, and he had this bald head and this suit on, and I looked at him and said, well, he's probably never done a day in jail in his life, you know. He just talks loud. Well, when he got up in front of the group and started to really talk about his dysfunction, and when I think of my past and my father, you know, I mean, it's like I'm 10 feet away from the man, but I can touch him. My very first custody court setting on behalf of my daughter, I represented myself, which didn't turn out too great, but I did have the courage to walk in there because I love my daughter. I didn't give up there, and I would start to go to court maybe between 1 to 3 times a year, and still my involvement with Urban Ventures was weekly. I always participated. I would always have a letter from Urban Ventures saying that I'm participating in the program and the certificate, and they would speak well of me. And one thing that kind of started to evolve is that my appearances in court for my daughter got to increase, but my stints in jail, they started to decrease, so I noticed that something must be changing here. It was about a year later, a little bit more than a year later, that I actually got my daughter through a court order 6 days a week. This is Urban Ventures Center for Fathers. They help me in with things that they need help with, where they need housing.
He's a hard-working dad. He has grit, you know what that means? Self-control, optimism, gratitude.
My daughter means the world to me. I mean, it's a real hard struggle being a man raising a now 10-year-old daughter, primarily by myself from 9 a.m. Saturday morning till about 9 o'clock Thursday night when she goes to spend time with her mom.
He's very caring of his own children. He takes care of them so they can be a hardworking grown-up and take care of their own children.
I do it all. I braid her hair. I put little beads on it. I've learned these things because at the end of the day, when I turn the light on her room and look at her there, and she's knocked out, she's asleep, and I reflect back on 5:59 a.m. that same morning when I was hassling her to get ready for school and put your shoes on, eat your breakfast, we gotta get on the bus, we gotta go. It's all worth it then at the end of the day.